затем выберите ваш язык, Ukrainian или Russian. Если вы не можете найти, у вас не получается, пожалуйста, напишите в чат, и мы поможем.
Right. All right, welcome everyone. Please, if you would like, join one of the interpretation spaces.
Доброго ранку, доброе утро. Пожалуйста, найдите значки опций в Zoom, выберите значок More, затем ваш язык Ukrainian или Russian. У вас будет возможность слушать нашу встречу на вашем языке, на украинском или русском. Если не можете подключиться к переводу, напишите нам в чат, мы поможем.
We're going to go ahead and get started, but in a moment, we will make this announcement again. All right, welcome.
Ласково просимо. Доброго ранку. Доброе утро.
This is the Ukrainian support convening session. Today's is on options, immigration status options for Uniting for Ukraine. This is hosted.
Перед тем, как начать, еще раз, очень важная информация. Будь ласка, найдите значки опций в Zoom, выберите значок More, затем выберите ваш язык Ukrainian или Russian. Это даст вам возможность слушать нашу встречу на вашем языке. У нас сегодня два переводчика, Ukrainian и Russian. Если не можете подключиться к переводу, напишите нам в чат, мы поможем.
All right, thank you. This session is for sponsors and those who have Ukrainian humanitarian parole status. We host sessions the second and fourth Thursday of each month through November 9th. The next session on October 26th will be for County Department of Social Service or Human Assistance staff. And then on November 9th, we will be sharing new resources with you. This session is specifically for UHPs and sponsors and those serving them. If you are media or another kind of stakeholder, We ask that you kindly step out of this session, but feel free to email us at UHPinfo@solveraconsult.com. To help us begin on the right foot today, some expectation setting. We will be discussing general immigration statuses, ways of applying for and gaining TPS and other statuses, but please do not share personally identifiable information, details unique or specific to you. We also will not be covering how to enroll in certain kinds of public benefits. A few reminders for the session today. All participants are on mute. There is space to ask questions, but make sure to please head to the appropriate room for interpretation if you would like. There'll be time for questions and answers. Please use the chat, the question box. You can find that by going to the bottom to your Zoom's controls. The two bubbles, and then asking a question in there. There'll also be a survey at the end, and we would love to hear your feedback. Today, you will be hearing from myself. My name is Hannah Messick. I'm with Solvera Consulting, who is partnering with the California Department of Social Services Refugee Programs Bureau. You'll hear from Nova Ukraine. You're hearing from Tatiana and Dima right now, if you are in the Ukrainian or Russian rooms. And you'll also hear from Sai from USCIS, which stands for the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. Let's get started. Sai, over to you.
All right, thank you so much. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure my audio is good.
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. So good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for having me today. As you can see on the slide here, these are the topics that we plan to cover. And as Hannah mentioned, we will have a Q&A session at the end, because I did receive a lot of pre-submitted questions, and then, we'll have questions, of course, after the presentation. So we'll be talking a little about U4U, temporary protected status, asylum, and then the other folks on Hannah, and then we'll cover the status and benefits eligibility portion. So next slide, please. So Uniting for Ukraine. So it's very important to understand what this program is about and what it isn't. Parole, basically, it is an authority granted to the DHS secretary to allow someone to enter the United States based on a humanitarian urgent need. And because they're unable to apply for admission to the United States through the normal visa processing procedures. So what that means is, there's an emergency situation. We're not going to make them go visit their local embassy or consulate and apply for a visa, because that just is not feasible when there's this urgent need for them to be here in the United States. Once someone does get United for Ukraine or U4U, it provides a pathway for displaced Ukrainian citizens and their immediate family members who are outside the United States. Okay, so you have to be outside the United States to come to the United States and stay temporarily for a 2-year period of parole. Okay, so this is a temporary status. And then when someone does have U4U, they can also apply for the employment authorization document or a work permit, and also advanced parole travel document. So this would allow this person to travel outside the United States. So any Ukrainian parolees do have to obtain permission from USCIS to travel outside of the United States. Next slide. Okay, and next slide. So now we'll talk about TPS, or temporary protected status. The Secretary of Homeland Security basically may designate a foreign country for TPS due to conditions in that country that temporarily prevents the country's nationals from returning safely, or in certain circumstances where the country is unable to handle the return of its nationals adequately. So the Secretary may designate a country for TPS due to the following temporary conditions in that country. So this includes ongoing armed conflict, such as civil war, an environmental disaster, so an earthquake, hurricane, or maybe an epidemic, and of course, other extraordinary temporary conditions. So these are the things that we can do for those folks who are already here in the United States, and now they cannot go back to their home country because of these reasons. Next slide. And so here are the key dates for TPS for Ukraine. So it includes the actual designation time period, which is, of course, April 19th, 2025. When a person is required to re-register, okay, so just know that if you have TPS currently, you are required to re-register for TPS again. And then we have that time period right there, which is between August 21st through October 20th. You also have to establish continuous residence, continuous physical presence. It includes the actual designation date. So that's the very first time that the Secretary did this. And then the actual Federal Register notice citation. This is very important to have or know of, because when you're visiting DMV, for example, they may want to see, okay, well, when does Ukraine, when did it get extended till? And so they may want to see that. So that will be something to have in handy just in case. Next slide, please.
And we could have Tatiana make the announcement one more time about, for those who maybe joined afterwards, about where to go for interpretation.
And just let me know when you're ready for me to start again, Hannah.
Thank you, Sai. Tatiana, if you're able to come off mute and make the announcement.
Can you hear me now?
Please go ahead. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Будь ласка, найдите значки опций, если вы хотите слушать нашу встречу на вашем языке. Выберите значок More, затем ваш язык Ukrainian или Russian, и вы услышите нашу встречу на вашем языке. У нас присутствуют сегодня переводчики. Если не можете подключиться к переводу, пожалуйста, напишите в чат, мы поможем вам.
And for those asking today, the slides will be sent in all languages following the session. This session is specifically designed for Ukrainians, UHPs, and sponsors. Therefore, the slides are in Ukrainian, but you will receive them in English and Russian after, as well as Ukrainian after the session. But the information Sai is providing corresponds with each section here, and obviously is in English. Thank you. Sai, go ahead. Thank you.
Now, we're getting these questions of, what's the purpose of TPS? Why should I do it? So basically, TPS is just like a parolee, U4U, where it does not lead to a permanent status. It's, again, another temporary status. But it's still a lawful temporary status. And basically, while you have TPS, you can basically research, find out what is your next step to secure that permanent status. So it's just another avenue to give you that temporary legal status while you figure out what you need to do next to stay here permanently in the United States. With TPS, you're also eligible for another employment authorization, okay, the work permit, and again, the advanced parole travel document, okay? So again, you can travel outside the United States once you've acquired TPS status. One of the other great benefit of TPS is the actual work permit is eligible for an automatic extension. So what that means is if you have TPS work permit and you apply for a new one before your current one expires, you'll get an automatic 540-day extension of your old one until you get your new one. And so, that basically covers the gap while you're waiting for the new one to be sent to you. Unlike parole status, U4U, there is no automatic extension. Okay, once that work permit expires, it expires. So there is no extension for you. But TPS, you do get that 540-day extension while you wait to get the new one. Next slide, please. And this is how to apply for TPS. Okay, so you basically have two options. Form I-821 is the form you want to obtain. If you're going to do it by paper, you will have to go to our website, to double check and get the list of the filing address, the evidence, the fees, all that stuff is available on our website. We do prefer, if you can, to file online. It just makes things a little bit easier. But to file online, you will have to create a My USCIS account first. But with this account, you get all these great benefits of receiving things automatic. So automatic notifications of anything that takes place on your case is a good idea. Now, as far as the fees, there is a fee for the initial TPS application. It's $50, and then $85 for the fingerprints. TPS, there is a fee waiver, component. So if you're low income, you're not working, if you're receiving Medi-Cal, food stamps, you may be eligible for that fee waiver, and you don't have to pay that $50. You will have to include evidence. Okay, there's very specific documentation evidence you have to provide when you submit an application for TPS. So this, of course, includes your identity and nationality, the date that you actually entered. So, proof of your I-94, the stamp in your passport. So something to show that you made that lawful entry. And then continuous residence since this time period. So April 16th of 2023. Again, as we mentioned, you can also apply for the employment authorization or the work permit at the same time as the TPS. After everything is submitted, you'll get the receipt notice, and the next step is to attend what we call a biometrics appointment. So this is your fingerprint. We're going to do both the 10 prints. We'll do a right index finger, a signature, and a picture for the actual work permit. And then, of course, the last and final thing is just waiting for the decision from USCIS whether you've been approved or denied for TPS. Next slide. Now, so this is just a quick snapshot of the different timelines, because we do want people to have expectations. With anything immigration related, it takes time, sometimes longer than others, depending on the type of immigration benefit. So for TPS, it looks like right now we're averaging about 11 months. So that's almost a year. So we do want folks, if they can, before their parolee status, to go ahead and submit that application if they're, considering that TPS. So at least they have somewhat of a gap between the two. We don't have any processing times for the EAD right now. I guess it's because the TPS for Ukraine is a fairly new program. And so we just don't have those dates and that information just yet. But I am working on trying to see if I can get that. And then if anybody's applying for the advanced parole, which is the travel document, it's about 17.5 months to obtain. So again, these are very long processing times. So again, we just want to make sure we're setting expectations for you. That's not going to happen overnight. Next slide.
Thank you, Sai. And since we also have live interpretation happening, if you would mind slowing down just a little bit to help us move through. Thank you. And as well, taking pauses between sentences, it would be great.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sai.
Okay. And now we're going to talk about asylum. So I want to make sure we're good to go. Moving on. Okay, looks like we are. So asylum is another immigration option for U4U parolees. Unlike TPS and U4U, it is a permanent status. So that means that once you obtain asylum status, you can be here permanently as an asylee is what we would call you. So the asylum program is basically a program, a protection, where for those who, has faced persecution or has a fear of persecution based on the 5 qualifying grounds. It includes race, religion, national origin, political opinion, or a social membership. Just like the other two, asylum also gives you the ability to apply for the employment authorization and also a travel document, which we call the refugee travel document. So that is still an option. Also with asylum, you can apply for qualifying family members who are either in the United States or outside the United States. And so they would come, they would be granted what we call a derivative asylum status. So you would be considered the primary or the principal, and then your relatives, and this would be your spouse, your minor children who are unmarried under the age of 21, okay, they can come and join you as derivative asylees. And then with asylum status, you're now eligible to apply for a green card. And you can apply for that green card anytime after being granted asylum. Before, it used to be that you had to wait a year with asylum status to apply for the green card, but we just changed the policy in February of this year, where you no longer have to wait a year to apply for the green card. So it's pretty much, the same day you're granted asylum if you want to. So that's an option. Let's make sure interpreting's caught up. Next slide. All right, so how to apply for asylum? So you again have two options. You'll have to submit form 589 by paper or online filing. There is no fee to apply for asylum, and this includes both the application and the biometrics, so everything's all free. Once you submit your application, you will get a receipt notice, and the next step is attending your biometrics appointment. So again, getting your fingerprints done. Once that happens and you receive your appointment notice for your interview, we do want you to go to our website and read through it so you can prepare for that interview, because it's going to be a fairly long interview. It could be from 1 hour to 4 hours. So we want to make sure that you're prepared for that interview so that everything goes smoothly. And then, of course, after the interview, you'll just wait for a decision from USCIS.
Гарного дня.
Okay. Next slide. And here are the timelines for the asylum program. So anybody who's applying for their initial work permit, right, the very first one, it's about, almost 2 months to get that initial work permit. If they're applying for the refugee travel document after being granted asylum, it's about 17.5 months. And then anybody who's wanting to petition their relatives to join them as derivative asylees, it's about 30 months. So that's also a very long time. You'll notice that we don't have a processing time for the actual asylum application, but do know that it is taking us a long time to process applications. So just, make sure you keep your address updated, with us, so that when you do get notified for the interview or your fingerprints or whatever, that we have that current address. So make sure you do that on a timely basis. Next slide. And so this is just a quick snapshot of all the different websites that you may end up visiting to get more information about all the different immigration benefits we just discussed. So the My USCIS account is the very first one on the far left-hand side. So if you are applying anything online on our website, you will have to have this account first before you can file anything online. We have a web page that's dedicated to the I-821, which is the TPS application, and of course, a web page that's dedicated to the 589, which is the application for asylum. Okay, next slide. Okay, and I think I'm going to hand it back over to you, Hannah, for this portion.
Yeah, thank you. We will have a question and answer session here in just a moment, but a reminder to please use the Q&A box to ask questions, and we will review them at the end. Regarding benefits, we wanted to share that your status directly impacts what you are eligible for with public benefits. This chart here will be interpreted and can be sent out later. But this is pulling from federal notes and state notes about who is eligible based on their status for what kind of benefits. So you see here, the first couple are regarding kind of employment, helping you stabilize and receive employment. And something to note down here is that if you have TPS without humanitarian parole, then there are not really benefits available to you. However, you would have, hopefully by then, your work permit. This is a lot of information on this slide, so don't worry about digesting all of it right now. You will have access to it after the presentation. The thing to note is that it's ideal to have at least a yes in each of these sections. So for employment or stabilization, food access, and Medi-Cal. If you're not sure what any of these elements are, feel free to write in the chat and we can explain and send you resources about how to access these basic benefits. This webinar is not about applying for benefits, but we do want you to know that your status, if it changes, could impact the benefits that you are eligible for. We'll now go to question and answer, as I'm sure there are a lot. Sai, if you're able to come back on, I will read some questions for you, and we will go from there. Dima, Katya, Tatiana, also, if you're able to help us with some of the questions that have come in languages other than English. So the first question, Sai, here is, could you please give more details for Ukrainians if they can apply for asylum? So I'm going to interpret that question to mean if someone is in Ukraine, can they apply for asylum? Let's answer that first, and then we'll answer it in another way as well.
So asylum is only eligible for those folks who are physically in the United States. The person in Ukraine may be able to apply for refugee status. Okay, so that's the basic distinction between the two, is that they all have the same qualifying grounds of persecution, but where is the person located when they're applying? If they're in the United States, they're applying for asylum with USCIS. If they're in Ukraine, they're applying for refugee status with Department of State.
And I see this individual has clarified that she was asking if they are in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you're in the United States, and again, if you have one of those 5 qualifying grounds, right? Race, religion, national origin, social membership, or political opinion, right? If you feel that you're being persecuted based on those 5 grounds, then yes, you can apply for asylum with USCIS while you're in the United States. And so we, definitely want you to go to our website to get additional information on all the requirements and the steps and how to prepare to do all of that.
We have several questions about timelines for TPS. So I'm going to switch back to that slide so we can reference it visually. But let's start with the first one. That is, what is the deadline for applying for TPS?
So the registration period, so you can see the re-registration period and then a registration period. A re-registration period is for those folks who currently have TPS and now need to re-register. So that is the timeline right there. So August 21st through October 20th. A registration period is basically the initial. So that is for anybody, who's never had TPS before and now wants to get it initially. So that the time frame for them to do that is August 21st all the way to April 19th of 2025. So hopefully that answers that question.
Related regarding, now there's a series of questions about, can we apply for TPS and this other document at the same time? So let's start with, is it possible to apply for TPS and advanced parole in one action? the goal here is to decrease the waiting period for advanced parole.
Mm-hmm. That's, I want to say that you can, and let me double check on this. But you won't get the advanced parole until you're granted TPS. So that I know is a must. So if you get denied TPS and you submitted the advanced parole travel document application, that will also get denied. So let me make a note of this to see if I think you can. I think you can.
And once we have that officially, everyone, we will update our question and answers, and we will also update the soon-to-be-released chatbot to provide that answer. Sai, we definitely understand that question, right? If it only takes 11 months or less to get TPS, then try to go ahead and get that while you're then waiting, that 17 and a half or less for the other. So thank you for that question. Another one regarding kind of concurrent applications. Is it possible to apply for TPS and EAD at the same time online, or only do they need to be sent by mail?
Yes, you can do both of them. So the TPS application and the employment authorization application can be done concurrently online. Now, if you're using the fee waiver, and I forgot to mention this initially during the presentation, you cannot apply online. So if you're paying the $50 and $85, you can apply online, and you can do both at the same time.
So just to state back, if you're using a fee waiver, it needs to be done by mail.
Correct.
But if you're paying the fees associated, you can do them at the same time, and you can do them both online.
Correct.
Okay. Let's see here. There's a question regarding the asylum, back to that. There's questions about if war can be considered a reason to apply for asylum. So maybe if you could explain a little bit about the 5 reasons and what would be considered with those, like why you might put one of the 5.
I think war in itself is not a qualifying ground.
Right.
Just having, fleeing because war is happening. Now, if there was some type of persecution, because of that war, so let's say, I'm trying to think of a national origin that may be persecuted, during war, like if you had maybe Jewish and background and, okay, well, a good example, what's happening right now in Israel, all right? Obviously there is war and conflict happening there, and both sides are being persecuted because of their religion and their national origin. So yes, that would be a ground, qualifying ground for asylum. So hopefully that makes sense. But just having, fleeing because your country is under war, that not in itself is a ground. But so I don't know if that was clear or not.
So what I'm hearing is, to apply for asylum, it's unlikely you would be granted asylum on the basis of a war happening.
Correct.
But if you're applying for asylum and you meet one of the 5 critical criteria, then there's a chance that through the interviews and the process that you could be granted asylum.
Correct.
But it does need to be one of the 5 key reasons.
Yes. And if it's, again, tied in with the conflict, then yes, it could happen.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right. There are, let's see. Tatiana, if you're able to come off mute and look in the Q&A and answer, interpret some of the questions that are in Ukrainian or Russian to English for Sai and I, I'm sure Katya and Dima are just fine where they are.
Yes, let me look.
Maybe the
in
top one at
chat.
1024.
Is that the chat you're referring to?
The Q&A,
Q&A. Mm-hmm.
it's got 2 boxes and it has like, for me, it shows 10, like a bubble of 10 on it.
Right. Let me see. And that will be in the where captions are in that row of
It'll
icons.
be down by chat. It should be next to chat.
Right. Reactions. Is that it? No. I have participants, chat, reactions. I do not have.
You don't see the Q&A? Okay.
No.
Let me,
Oh, wait a minute. Yep, I do.
so the very top one there at 1024.
Right. So the very top is if you lost a parole from USCIS, not a parole, I'm sorry, password. If you lost the password from USCIS, what can one do? So I believe what they mean is maybe the cabinet, the website they have access to, and they lose the password.
Oh, for their
Answer in a couple ways. Yeah,
their
let's
account?
answer with account password.
I believe so,
But then
yes.
let's also answer in if we don't have access to our passport, and then if we don't have like the receipt number. So let's cover all 3.
So if you don't have your passport anymore, hopefully you can get another one from the Ukrainian consulate. I know we have one in San Francisco and maybe other cities and throughout the United States. So, that is still an option. If you're asking about your password for the My USCIS account, there should be, you can call the 1-800 number or our USCIS contact center number. They can help you, get that account reset with a new password, I believe. And what was the third one? The receipt notice?
Yes, if you've lost your receipt.
Yeah, if you lost your receipt notice, and if you have this My USCIS account, you can just go back to the account and reprint another notice. But if you can't access the account, then I guess that's moot. Again, you would have to call the contact center and see if they can send you a duplicate notice. Most likely not, but at the very least, you should be able to get the receipt number from the contact center. So at least you'll have that.
And Sai, we have a clarification on that as well. If someone's parole has ended, so if I lost my parole, right, my parole for whatever reason, we've passed that date, what should they do?
They should be trying to find a different avenue to get another temporary status. So again, TPS, yeah, because once they've fallen out of, once that parole status ends, they have no lawful status here in the United States.
Right.
So that means that person is very limited in what they can do, benefits. If they commit a crime, they could be, easily removed from the United States. They're occurring what we call unlawful presence in the United States. And this is a very specific type of immigration law where if you have 1 year or more of unlawful presence, meaning you have no status, it could affect your eligibility for future benefits, especially the green card route. So yeah, they should definitely be consulting with an attorney or an accredited representative to, find out what their options are at this point, because they should not be without status. It's not a good idea.
And regarding that, how difficult is it to complete the TPS application? And could you provide a link or resources for where people can receive assistance filling out the TPS application?
Yes, I will definitely send that to you, Hannah, so you can share with everybody who's on the call the list of the low-cost nonprofit organizations that can help you with the TPS application. Having never filled out the TPS application myself, I can't say how difficult it is, but I can say that if you're comfortable with the English language, you should be able to do it on your own. So it's not as difficult as, you know, something like the green card application, which could be a little more complicated. So I would recommend that you pull up the application on our website, take a look at it, review it. Again, it's all in English. Review the instructions as well. And if you're comfortable, then go ahead and fill it out. If you're not, then definitely reach out to one of the nonprofit organizations that I will send to everyone.
Can you mention again, we're seeing a few more questions come in about which of the 5 qualifying principles for asylum might be best fit for those who have fled the war in Ukraine?
Unfortunately, I can't comment on that because every case is different and unique. So the 5, again, so you have to have one of these, right? So race, so you're being persecuted because of your race. You're being persecuted because of your religion, your national origin, political opinion, or social membership. So again, I can't, you know, just say that because you're from Ukraine, one of these 5 could apply to you. Every case is different and unique. And so anybody who's considering the asylum route, you know, again, should definitely sit down and consult with an attorney or one of our low-cost legal resources.
And I'm putting that here in the chat so everyone can see as well. Thank you. All right. What is happening during the asylum application pending? That means with your benefits and other services. So if an individual is an asylum applicant and has no other status, what that means then is that they would not have access to public benefits. If there's a CalWorks or RCA staff on the line that would like to hop in, please do. Otherwise, this is the most recent information from the all county letters. All right. The question is, if someone has received SSI and Medicaid, when will they be moved into TPS or asylum?
So SSI and Medicaid are not the same agency as USCIS. So there is no automatic movement between the two. If this person who's receiving SSI and Medicaid wants to apply for TPS and asylum, they have to apply with USCIS. So nothing happens automatically.
Okay. This family came to the United States with parole, received the work permit, and then applied for asylum. Now they are also going to apply for TPS. Would it be better to apply for a new work permit through asylum or TPS or both? What would be the fastest? The goal is they do not want to lose their job.
I think on one of the slides, I think the initial asylum work permit is about 2 months, but you still have to wait 150 days before you can apply for that work permit. So there's still a time period that you can't do it at the same time, I guess is what I'm saying. So you can have multiple work permits as long as you're maintaining that particular status. So if you're maintaining your TPS status and you have an asylum application pending, you can have both.
Thank you. And what happens with your benefits if you are applying for asylum while you have UHP status?
When they say benefits, are they talking like Medi-Cal stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely use that chart again.
Yeah, so if you have, so Sai, I guess the question would be, if you're applying for something, does that put you within that status group? So for instance, if you are a UHP,
Mm-hmm.
but you're applying for asylum,
Mm-hmm.
you would maintain your UHP benefits till the point that your UHP status ran out, or you assumed a new status.
So I know that the benefits that UHU receives is tied to that status.
That's right. So
Yeah,
here on the left side,
yeah,
we
yeah.
see
So if their parolee status expires, then they will no longer be eligible for those benefits.
that's right.
Yeah.
So the answer there is if your humanitarian status has expired and you are now legally in the country through TPS without humanitarian parole,
Mm-hmm.
you lose access to those benefits. And if you are here as an asylum seeker, not one who has had their case approved yet, you also at large do not have access to benefits at that time. All right, just moving through here. Thank you. A question: if you already have employment authorization with the program U4U, do you need to apply for a work authorization one more time with TPS?
Yes, because that work authorization with U4U will eventually expire, and there's no automatic extension. So you don't get that 540 days extension after it expires, unlike TPS in asylum.
And the next question in that same set there is, could you travel abroad with TPS to see your family and legally return to the United States?
Once you obtain the travel document called the advance parole, yes.
Mm-hmm. And that advanced parole is taking about 17 and a half months
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Just be aware of that. If you're looking to travel, you're going to need to plan far in advance. When will we be able to apply for TPS with a fee waiver I-912 through the mail? How and when should I pay the $50 and $85?
So if you're going to pay the fee for your initial application, go ahead and file online. That's going to be your best bet because it's going to make things smoother, easier, and faster. If you're doing the fee waiver, you'll have to print out the form, include all the evidence and attachments, include the fee waiver, the I-912 application, and evidence that you qualify for the fee waiver. You'll have to mail it to the address that's on our website. So it just depends. If you're paying the fee, do it online. If you're going to do the fee waiver, you have to paper file.
I have a follow-up question on the benefits. Is it better to remain on U4U, since U4U qualifies for more benefits, than change to TPS?
So you can have U4U, for as long as your parole status, right? So it's not indefinite. It's generally good for 2 years. So after that 2-year mark, that's when you should need to consider and look at other options. But as far as the benefits portion, go ahead, Hannah.
Yeah, so I guess, Sai, the question here really is as well, can you have UHP and TPS status at the same time?
You can have all three at the same time.
Right.
U4U, TPS, and asylum.
So with that, what this means is that you can stay on your UHP status and apply for TPS.
Yes.
But when your UHP status expires, likely next year, you will only be here legally on TPS status. and there are not currently benefits associated with that status. So once U4U and UHP expires, as of today, there are not access to benefits unless by then you've been awarded asylum status, which is highly unlikely given the processing times. I appreciate these questions, everyone. Thank you very much for asking them. These are very helpful. There's more questions about the overlap, again, between benefits and statuses. So for instance, someone has SSI. When they move to TPS, do they still have SSI? Again, if they're here only under TPS, no. But if they are here under U4U or UHP status and they have TPS, yes, because their benefits are tied to their UHP status. Can a Ukrainian with a student visa apply for TPS?
Yes.
If they apply for TPS, will they lose their student visa status?
Yes.
At the application or at the granting of TPS?
At the granting of TPS.
Do you have advice on which would be better to stay on? The student visa is granted for 3 years.
Unfortunately, it's going to be dependent on that person's situation. You know, with the student visa, you can't work. There's no work permit. So something to think about. Unlike TPS, you can get a work permit and a travel document. But again, I can't say, you know, which one is better. It would really depend on that person's situation and what they want to achieve.
There's questions about will UHP or U4U be extended?
Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. So if it does get extended, it will be on our website. We'll definitely, you know, blast out messaging. I'll let, you know, Hannah and her team know so she can share with everybody.
We'll share it with everybody as
Yeah.
far and wide. We love sharing good news.
Yeah. But as far as, I haven't heard anything as of today, so I'm not sure.
This one says UHP benefits expired on September 30th. Is there anything new? I don't quite understand that question.
Yeah, they're talking about like county benefits or?
If that individual who asked it could please add a little bit more as a reply, that would be helpful. Please comment a new announcement by USCIS for providing EAD for 5 years now. Will they provide for Ukrainians EAD for 5 years, even if they have TPS for just a year?
So that announcement for the 5-year extension of work permits is only for refugees and asylees, I believe. I don't think it applies to parolees.
So to clarify, that 5-year extension does not include those who are on UHP status currently.
Correct, because they are parolees, correct.
Okay. Is there any chance that just lost my spot. Is there any chance that after 45 days from October 1st, so from the FY24 start, Ukrainians who come after September 30th will be eligible for ORR benefits again? And can Ukrainians who arrive after September 30th apply for kind of the standard SNAP benefits, all that?
So I unfortunately won't be able to comment on that just because that's not my wheelhouse. So Hannah, I don't know if you know.
I do not, but we are noting this question.
Okay.
And we'll send that. We'll delay sending out our follow-up email to make sure that we have some of these answers in it, or a link to a place that will provide that information. Apart from parents with children under 18, who else among UHP newcomers can apply for benefits arriving after September 30th? To me, that sounds very similar. So we'll get that information. Mm-hmm. Can people without an immigration specialist license advertise their services to apply for TPS or EAD or asylum in California and charge money for it, even if they're a public notary?
So we call these folks consultants and preparers. And they in the state of California, that's all I can speak on, they are required to be, registered with the state as consultants and preparers. They can help fill out the form, but they cannot give out legal advice. So they can't tell you what forms to file. They can't tell you how to answer questions on the form or what evidence to provide, because that's given out legal advice. But if you're going to go and provide the answers to this person, they can fill it out based on the answers that you provide. So as long as you understand the questions, they can translate, they can, download, they can fax, they can do simple clerical functions, I guess is what I'm saying, but no legal advice, because that's breaking the law.
Tatiana, can you come on again and translate a few questions here?
Yes. Yes, which ones would you like me to?
The most recent one at the very bottom, asked at 10:54, and we are just about out of time here.
Okay, so our U4U is ending on 6/14/2024. When should we apply for TPS?
You can apply now if you want.
What is the latest they can apply if U4U ends on 6/14/24?
Let's see.
So that'll be June.
October 20th is when they need the deadline.
Right. And if I apply in April of 24, and they're still considering at the moment of the end of my U4U, will I be considered illegally here while I'm waiting for TPS?
So if you have a pending TPS application before your U4U expires, you don't have lawful status, but you do have permission to remain in the United States while that application is being approved or decided on, I guess I should say. So technically you don't have, any lawful status where you can go to the county, the DMV, to Social Security, but immigration knows that you have that TPS application pending, and with that pending application, you're given permission to be here while it's pending. So you are given permission to be here.
Thank you. And also, this person's already working. So they got their work permit through U4U, and the employer is very happy. They're happy with the situation with work. So the authorization to work will expire with the U4U, correct? And if TPS is not granted at the time, because they will have to apply for another employment authorization along with TPS, correct? So that they receive it with the TPS, right? And then just let the employer know.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And show all the documents. Okay.
All right, we are coming up on time. I see one more question related to that. Just a reminder that benefits access continues on U4U. So if someone has applied for TPS and they have UHP status, they can have both of those at the same time. We see that there are still more questions. And so thank you so much. What we are going to do is continue to read through these questions. I will collaborate with Sai. I know there's a couple links that we'll be sending out as well. It's possible that you could receive a few slides from us, emails from us. I will likely ask that you kindly we'll send you the slides. Please complete this survey. If you raise your phone and view that QR code. It also has a place to ask more questions, but be sure to add your name and email address so we can send you answers to your questions or the links to answers to your questions. Thank you so much, Sai. You are a wealth of knowledge. As you see, we spent about half of the time in Q&A. You are a true expert. We are grateful for you here. Everyone else, thank you for your questions, and we look forward to corresponding with you. Take care, everyone.
Bye.